This video is an ode to my younger self and anyone who is in their early 20s. This is going to be a compilation of lessons I've learned that I wish I knew sooner. The first thing, allow people space to sort out their own things, to come into awareness on their own. You are going to cross paths with people that you want to save, whether emotionally, spiritually, especially as women. We have an innate desire to take people under our wing. Stop. Trying to play God is dangerous for so many reasons. Number one, people and the energy and the karma and the entities attached to them are for them to conquer. It's not even personal, it's spiritual. Sometimes you'll meet people who aren't on a frequency to receive what you're saying or to receive you. And that's another thing that you can't take personally, is when people don't have the capacity to see you or to receive you in totality. It's not an easy one. But it's not personal. It's literally an energetic divide. I had to pick the camera up to really get into it. But sometimes your role is just to plant the seed, not to sit around and watch it grow, and to be, plant the seed and keep going. You will find your tribe as you show up authentically. And don't dim your light for others. Don't water yourself down. Don't keep things to yourself. Go where you are seen and appreciated, and that is your tribe. When you do align with the people that are for you, you can still respect where everyone else is on their journey. You can respect others' unique paths, understanding that they will come into awareness at the right time, if ever. That's another thing, is just relinquishing control. Always remember how God gave you time and space to feel your way through things, and you came into understanding at the right time. You probably could have caught on sooner. You probably heard the right things before, but they didn't resonate because you weren't ready or you rejected the truth. So keeping that in perspective allows us to hold space for others. That doesn't mean you have to kick it with them, doesn't mean you have to sit in their face every day, but you can respect other people and the natural unfolding of their journeys. When it comes to people and their toxicity, their karma, all that, move out the way. I'm not gonna lie, move out the way before you get entangled in some foolishness, for real. Another very important thing to remember entering womanhood is that energy is currency. A lot of things, good and bad, can be magnetized from energy alone. Exclusivity makes your energy more valuable. Exclusivity, not being everywhere with everyone doing everything, does make your energy more valuable. I definitely have spread myself thin a lot of times and had my energy linked to too many different things. If you ever feel burnt out, depressed, sad, and you can't even really pinpoint why, you might be feeling energy that isn't even your own, honestly, because women are I can't speak for everyone. I know I personally am very sensitive to energy. So spending too much time with people or in environments that are draining, that's just poor energy management. Every now and then you want to check in with yourself and take inventory of the things that you are giving energy to. And I said this before, but more things than we think are energy exchanges. This next thing, I would say to just young people in general, whatever the masses are doing, whatever millions of people are doing or promoting or saying, I'm not gonna lie, you should probably do the opposite. You should probably do the opposite. I'm not going to lie. I learned to stop and think, what would this corporation gain from telling me this or selling me this? What would this platform gain from promoting this? What is in it for them? Nothing on a large scale is without an agenda. Most major entities, figures, they have sold out. They benefit from our lack of energetic management, from our outrage, from our fear. Fear is the biggest way that people push their agendas and harvest the energy of everyday people. So don't buy into fear. Be a critical thinker. Second guess everything. I don't care what it is. Who is promoting this? Who published this article? What would they gain from me buying into this? What would they gain from me reciting these lyrics 1,000 times? Always dig deeper and be curious. And if everyone is going left, but you feel intuitively to go right, go right. That leads me to my next point. Don't suppress your intuition. If you're a believer, you may call it the Holy Spirit. Call it what you want. But when you feel intuitively that something is not right or that something is right, even if it's unpopular, even if people are telling you otherwise, follow your intuition or you'll just end up back at square one. Most times when we ignore our intuition, it's in an effort to keep going. It's like, yeah, I feel weird about it, but I have to do it because we have to progress. You know, we think that suppressing our intuition will make us more efficient, when in reality, following through with something that you knew from the beginning was not aligned will ultimately land you back at square one. You'll waste more time. You will waste more time having suppressed your own inner knowing. Seriously. I'm reading this book. It's called The Man God Has for You, 7 Traits to Help You Determine Your Life Partner. And it talks about how ignoring red flags and just going with the flow in hopes that things will go away, in hopes that you'll work it out through the process, and that the things you ignore that are small in any capacity, not just romantic, will only grow. If anything, it'll only become more apparent to the point where now it's harder to untangle yourself from something. Don't ignore your intuition. I do this sometimes too, you guys. It takes strength because sometimes your intuition will defy logic. Sometimes it won't make sense. Like, how could you just stop cold turkey doing this or going to school or dating this person? How could you just, you have to respect that inner voice, seriously. And sometimes it's like, I can't tell you why I feel led to do this now, but it'll make sense later. It may defy logic because there's no tangible proof that it will pay off, but the most efficient and smart thing you can do is to honor your inner knowing from the get-go. The next thing is tend to your garden. The grass is greener where you water it. You can spend time cultivating other people's dreams. You can spend time meandering through other people's gardens, but there are actively weeds growing in your garden. You have to plant the seeds that you want to see grow. You have to pluck the things that you know are poisoning your life. You have to do it yourself. No one is coming to save you. And that has been the biggest realization of my 20s. I could literally cry because it's like at the end of the day, you still have to cut the grass. Like, you still have to water the grass. Your best bet is to lock the gate and get to work. The beautiful thing is, if you just put in a little bit of work, just like a plant, all it needed was some sunlight, a little rain. God will do the rest. If you plant the seeds, pluck out the weeds, the people, the things, the commitments that are not in alignment, that are not aiding in your growth and evolution, God will do the rest. So that's the beautiful thing about nature, is that you're not tending to it alone. I can't stress enough, y'all, that has been like the most sobering but empowering realization, that to cultivate a beautiful life, whether or not I do that, it ultimately falls on me, but you can create a beautiful life for yourself, and you do have the tools. So now is the time. The next thing that I would say to someone in their early 20s or just my younger self is that it only takes one yes. When you're on an unconventional path, it can be very discouraging when you don't immediately see results, but it only takes one yes. When God says that it's time, everything, all of your sacrifices, all of the uncertainty and the doubt, it'll be so worth it. What God has his hand on, no man can stop it. It's lasting. It's going to be so much better than what you could imagine. An example of this is Isaac. In the Bible, there was a season of famine and there was a drought, nothing growing, nothing fruitful, but Isaac planted a seed in faith. And the Bible says in that same year, he reaped 100 times what he sowed. I don't think you understand. In that same year, that's the thing. God has the power to accelerate your blessings. That takes so much faith to sow into barren land. There might not be any evidence around you that your efforts will pay off. People may look at you so crazy, like, girl, what are you doing? We need to be doing this. In that same year, Isaac reaped 100 times what he sowed. God rewards our faith. That is one of my favorite verses. It's so encouraging to me, especially as someone who is on like an unconventional path. I'm a Sagittarius, y'all, so there is nothing about routine that excites me. I'm always having to choose discipline over motivation because motivation is fleeting and it's not fun. But I always keep in the back of my mind that at any point, God can flip all this over and I could be up tomorrow. So don't quit today when tomorrow you can win. Okay. And the last thing I would say to young women in particular is that it is a blessing to be hidden and treasured by God. This one's kind of hard to explain, but I personally feel like I've been kind of put up and hidden by God. Even in my efforts to be more visible or seen by people that maybe I loved, or even just like clients that I want to work with, whatever, in my efforts to be seen, a lot of times God has kept me hidden. Especially when I was a little bit younger and like there was so much fun happening in the world. I'm like, I almost feel like there's a barrier between me and a lot of things I feel like I didn't have a normal experience with, if that makes sense. And I'm like, God, what the heck? Like, what the heck? Why are my experiences so few and far in between? It's almost like I'm hidden. You guys, at 25 years old, I literally have the chills because I can say that God has shielded me from so much. God has, that energetic barrier that I speak of, it's a hedge of protection. We don't know how certain things would have panned out. We don't know who people truly are. And so to be so loved and treasured by God that he protects you and keeps you hidden from people that aren't meant to see you fully, or maybe don't even deserve to see you fully, that is such a blessing. It feels like being reserved for special experiences, for aligned experiences. You don't have to kiss 1,000 frogs before you meet your counterpart. Do you know what I mean? God is sparing you the heartache so that when the right people, opportunities do reach you, you aren't jaded, you aren't tainted, you aren't shattered because of your experiences. It's a blessing to be so treasured by God that you are protected from people that are not meant to see you. Honestly, it's so funny because whenever people are not meant to be in my life, the silence following the separation is is literally like deafening. I'm like, dang, did they disappear off the earth? Like, even if I'm under surveillance by like past people, whatever, I bet they won't talk to me. It's the weirdest energetic like divide when God says that someone's time in my life is up. So I just want to say to anyone who feels like they live a boring life, God has them sitting on the bleachers watching all the fun, they ain't having fun, baby. It is chaos and confusion in the world. So sit tight and prepare. That's where I'm at now at 25, is prepare. Instead of twiddling my thumbs, when is it my turn? Like, I'm going to prepare because I know God has such special and enriching connections in store for me, such special and enriching opportunities in store for me. So I'm going to prepare, and that's so much fun. So yeah, I hope that this video was helpful to someone. Shout out to 19-year-old me. I feel like I'm talking directly to her right now. Yeah. I love you guys so much. Comment down below. Let me know what you want to see next. See you next time.